We've got the St. David back again, and the vessel had issues the previous season, and this season there's a few issues as well that we'll find out. Very challenging this season. My biggest challenge of the season, crew was always standard, but it's getting through that bridge in St. Martin.
And the season 12 trailer begins with you contacting the Maritime Police about what I assume is an unruly charter group.
We have an emergency on the boat.
I cannot believe this. They're canceling the charter.
You, Captain.
There's one authority on this boat, and it's me. I'm not around.
Have you ever had to deal with that in your yachting career previously?
I've never, ever had to call the police to the boat. I've had to steer them away when the music's too loud, but I've never had to call them to the boat. So this for me is a first time.
And I know you can't give anything away, but what can you tell me about the incident? It was very elevated. What's the word? What right word for it? The situation was handled very well by my crew. We've tried very hard to manage the situation without having to involve the police, but it got to a point that for the safety of the crew and the vessel and the other charter guests and myself, it had to happen. And I know I spoke to Fraser earlier, and he told me he had to speak to the local authorities in French to explain the situation. Did he give you a debrief of how it went?
Well, imagine this, just imagine this. You've got an Australian captain talking to a British guy who's then speaking French to the locals. And then they're speaking French back to him, and he's going to speak English back to me. And a couple of times he got to ask about. So yeah, so there was there's a lot going on, and it was amazing to have Fraser there to be able to translate what I needed to get done. But it was very challenging.
Yeah. And you and Fraser are really proving to be a dream team.
Yeah.
How has he grown as a chief stew in the time that you've worked with him?
The thing I love about Fraser is he self-reflects, and he's always trying to improve. He's not one of these people that blame others for where he's at. He looks at ways of getting forwards. And Fraser and I, we have a friendship off camera, and on board, we're very professional. So he doesn't mix the two, which is easy to do, because when I want the boat to elevate, and he wants to elevate. And the only way we can do that is work together.
And he told me you're very good at realigning him. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'm surprised on how well I do actually, but it's Fraser he receives it well. So if you have an employee that is receiving constructive criticism and elevates, it's golden.
Right, and you've got a rowdy but clearly hardworking group of yachties this season. Were you pleased with the CVs you were given?
Yes, I've got quite a mix of CVs, and those that I expected to survive and those that I didn't expect to survive, I was totally wrong.
Wow, what a tease. Who stood out to you initially?
I've got to say that Jess, incredible on deck. She just knew where to be at all times. She's funny, she's eager, and she gave all the boys a good run for their money.
I'm glad to hear that. In the season 12 trailer, we do see you have to let someone go.
The expectations of the job on this boat, you're not there yet, so I'm gonna let you go, mate.
Is that the hardest job, part of the job of being a captain?
It really is. Earlier in my career, when I let you go, it was because you were not achieving, and I would be disappointed in you, in your performance. On the show, it's not about that. It's just this is not the right place for you at this point of time. There's no yachting like yachting on Below Deck. It really is. It's a pressure cooker. There's a lot of stresses. There's a lot of things that influence your day that you have no control over, and it's not for everybody. So when I let somebody go, it's compassion.
And I was really pleased to see Kyle back for a second season. In his confessional, he expressed how much he wanted to prove to you that he wasn't, quote, a fucking dickhead, unquote.
Slightly disrespected him, maybe a few times last year.
Do you guys not take seriously inspection today? Blatant disrespect and beyond words.
I'd really like to prove to Kerry that, I'm not a dickhead, and I'm here to work, and I respect him.
Did he prove that to you this season?
He proved to me that he's a dickhead. Kyle is an incredible worker. He really is. He gets the job done,
but he's got to keep it in his pants.
Well, in the trailer, it seems that he may or may not have hooked up with a guest during charter.
He's either in there making our tip or losing our tip.
The crew think you banged a charter guest.
Turn the sea off.
But that's not okay. Her husband paid the tip.
Was it a joke? Or?
Was it a joke?
What
Yes.
can you say to that?
He put me in a very difficult situation because I will not put up with that on my vessel.
You are no nonsense.
No nonsense.
But I want to get into the season 12 premiere. After watching it, I'm very concerned about Chef Lawrence. How quickly did you realize he was having a tough time?
Straight away. So last season we had, I'm going to blank here. Who's my French chef last season?
Anthony?
Anthony. Yeah. So Anthony, amazing chef, and he spiraled. And I didn't catch it till too late. So this season, I really wanted to support this chef as much as I could. So I could see from the very start that Chef Lawrence was struggling, but he has amazing food. I gave a lot of attention for him to succeed through the rest of the season.
And, you know, it's never a good thing when production gets involved. You headed right down to the galley once you heard what was going on.
Yes.
The cameras are here to film the show, but everyone's just doing their job here.
Hey, we had to go last night.
You know what I mean? It's just like, and then I get told, we want to make you succeed. Bollocks. You bollocks. That's a lie. It's either alive.
What advice did you give him? Were you able to get him out of that loop?
Well, it's a challenge. You know, we think we know what we're getting ourselves into. This is my third season on Below Deck, and at first it's still a little daunting when you have the cameras around you. And my encouragement to him was, you'll get through this. Like, just give it time. You're in an environment you're not familiar with. You had the talent. You just got to calm down, mate. It'll all be fine.
And if you had an MVP of this season, I know it's early to call it, who would it be and why?
I don't want to give too much away on who that MVP is, but it was a hard choice. There was two people, interior and exterior, that were tie.
Could you maybe tell me who fans should be keeping an eye on this season?
Oh, keep an eye on Selene. Yes.
Right. Have you, as a captain, changed at all since joining the show?
Well, absolutely. So I'm in a unique position where I can take a good hard look at myself, where I actually see myself on camera and how I talk to people and how I interact, and what happens to that person once they leave the wheelhouse after I've had a chat with them. So it's given me an insight on how powerful my words mean to people. So I need to be more careful on how I talk to people, and then also how I can support them to do better.
What can you tease about the rest of the season?
The rest of the season, what you saw in the trailer is 5 minutes of 12 weeks of TV. So it's going to get more and more intense, more and more drama. We have some extremely difficult guests. The crew have a lot of challenges, but by the end, they all pull it together, and I'm super proud of them.